Until the galaxy declared war, Earth acted powerless for more than 50 years. Earth had played the perfect role. In the great halls of the Galactic Assembly, surrounded by alien civilizations with centuries of power and conquest, humanity appeared small, weak, and unimportant. Other worlds were armed with fleets that could destroy planets. Their weapons could tear apart stars. Their armies numbered in trillions, and their empires stretched across light years of space. And yet, Earth's representatives walked among them with polite smiles, humble voices, and careful gestures, appearing to contribute little more than trade agreements and minor research. No one took humanity seriously. The powerful Zerath Dominion saw Earth as a minor nuisance, a small planet with clever minds, but no strength to back up their ideas. The Valar technocracy regarded humans as amusing creatures, emotional and slow to understand the depth of galactic politics. Even smaller species, often caught between alliances and rivalries, looked at Earth as something to ignore or exploit. It was exactly how humans wanted it. In public, Earth acted powerless. Its ships were small and slow compared to the towering battleships of alien empires. Its weapons, though functional, lacked the terrifying displays of power other worlds used to intimidate neighbors. On the surface, Earth seemed vulnerable, fragile even, like a tiny stone in the middle of a roaring river. And yet behind the polite smiles and careful words, humans were busy, not with large, visible military projects, not with flashy weapons of mass destruction that screamed danger here. Humans focused on what mattered most, preparation. They built infrastructure in secret. They invested in energy storage that could power entire cities or fleets. They advanced artificial intelligence systems far beyond anything the galaxy suspected. They developed logistics networks that allowed goods, people, and information to move across the planet and beyond with incredible speed and efficiency. While alien empires demonstrated their strength openly, humans worked quietly. While others flaunted warships, Earth built systems and connections. While the galaxy looked for threats in obvious places, humans hid theirs in plain sight, under layers of ordinary technology disguised as everyday projects. It was a slow, steady approach. And it required patience. Humans were patient. They had learned that rushing toward conflict often led to ruin. They had studied history, both on Earth and through records obtained from other species, and discovered a simple truth: power displayed too soon invites challenge. Those who roar before they strike rarely survive to win. So Earth waited. For decades, humans accepted their place as the weak world. They allowed alien diplomats to monitor their research. They agreed to trade restrictions, even when they did not need to. They presented themselves as cooperative, mild, and inconsequential. They made no threats. They made no demands. And the galaxy laughed. Alien leaders, convinced that humans were powerless, often joked about them in private. The planet of children, the Zerath commanders called them. Emotionally unstable weaklings, whispered the Valar analysts. Even young species just beginning to explore space pointed at Earth with ridicule. Humans did not respond. On Earth, there was no panic. There was no rage. There was only observation and calculation. Engineers in hidden laboratories tested new propulsion systems. Scientists worked on materials that could withstand unimaginable forces. Strategists created simulations of galactic battles, learning from the movements of other empires. And every day, humans added another layer to their quiet strength. Civilians played their part too. Education, research, commerce, all of it was organized. Citizens participated without knowing the full picture, believing they were building a better planet, unaware that their efforts were shaping humanity's hidden power. When other civilizations glanced at Earth, they saw a small, peaceful world. They saw children playing while giants fought. But in reality, Earth was like a spider weaving its web in the shadow of a tree. Everything seemed harmless until the moment the prey walked into the trap, and the galaxy was walking blindly. It was not that humans were afraid of conflict. They understood danger well enough. Humans had inherited a history of survival. Countless wars, natural disasters, and internal struggles had taught them resilience, creativity, and determination. What humans lacked in sheer physical power, they made up with intelligence, strategy, and an ability to adapt faster than any other species could imagine. Every year, humanity sent small fleets into deep space. They explored unknown systems, quietly observing alien tactics and testing their own technology. Civilian ships could become emergency support vessels. Cargo carriers could be transformed into rapid deployment platforms. Even satellites and communication arrays had dual purposes, serving both civilian needs and defense strategies. Yet all of this was invisible to the galaxy. For humans, it was not about proving strength. It was about being ready. They did not need recognition. They did not crave applause. What mattered was preparation, timing, and understanding. Humans also learned patience from observation. They saw empires rise and fall. They noticed how overconfidence led to collapse. They watched civilizations that relied only on power struggle against those that combined wisdom, coordination, and adaptability. The lesson was simple. Real strength often hides, like water beneath ice, and strikes with precision when the moment is right. On Earth, children were taught curiosity, problem-solving, and persistence. Adults emphasized creativity, innovation, and teamwork. Leaders studied both alien and human history, seeking patterns in strategy, diplomacy, and conflict. And all of it was designed to build something the galaxy could not see yet, a civilization that appeared weak but could stand against any challenge. Even the Galactic Assembly's corridors reinforced the illusion. Human diplomats spoke softly. They accepted compromise. They agreed to limits imposed by stronger species. And when other civilizations scoffed at their modest contributions, humans smiled, nodding politely. It was the perfect disguise. While alien fleets expanded, humans learned to integrate their technologies quietly. They studied alien weapons and defenses, seeking weaknesses. They improved their own systems incrementally, ensuring that when the time came, humanity would have both the tools and the understanding to survive and thrive against any opponent. And the galaxy continued to underestimate them. For 50 years, humans walked among the stars as if they were powerless. They allowed other empires to assume dominance. They tolerated jokes, dismissals, and ridicule. Every small concession, every polite gesture, every humble smile was part of a larger strategy that only humans fully understood. They waited. And while other civilizations focused on immediate gains, humans focused on the long game. While others built monuments to power, humans built networks, systems, and resilience. They prepared for the day when the galaxy might finally decide to test them, not knowing that when that day arrived, humanity would not only survive, but respond with a precision, intelligence, and coordination that no one could imagine. The galaxy did not know it yet. But one day the tests would come, and on that day Earth would stop pretending to be weak. To the powerful empires, humans were an anomaly. They had grown rich in trade, clever in engineering, and unusually skilled in diplomacy, all without displaying the usual signs of power. Their small fleets moved quietly among the stars. Their colonies expanded, yet never threatened others openly. They learned quickly, adapted faster, and somehow survived without attracting conflict, until now. The first formal warning came from the Zerath Dominion. A fleet of sleek, towering warships appeared at the edges of the Terran Alliance's trade routes. The Dominion's diplomats demanded that Earth explain its unusual expansion. They claimed humans were secretly destabilizing galactic trade, acting as hidden manipulators. Their tone left no room for negotiation. At the Galactic Assembly, the accusation was loud and dramatic. Other species whispered and watched. Some nodded in agreement, others shrugged. Few truly understood what humans were capable of, but the Zerath Dominion wanted everyone to think Earth was a threat. Earth responded calmly. Their diplomats appeared in the assembly chambers, wearing the same neutral expressions they always wore. "We are a peaceful species," the human ambassador said. "We seek only trade, knowledge, and mutual growth. Any appearance of influence is accidental. We are not a threat to any civilization." The words were soft, measured. The galaxy expected hesitation, even fear. Instead, the humans spoke with confidence, like a calm river that could run over stones without breaking. The Zerath Dominion was not convinced. The accusation escalated quickly. The Dominion demanded inspections of all Earth's colonies, access to research facilities, and restrictions on trade. They sent military advisors to advise minor species on how to limit Earth's influence. They expected that these steps would weaken humanity, expose their secrets, and remind everyone who ruled the stars. What the galaxy did not understand was simple. Humans had anticipated this. When the Dominion's first enforcement fleets moved into human-claimed space, They found nothing. Colonies had been evacuated. Trade fleets were rerouted. Civilian vessels were reinforced and converted to temporary support ships. Essential resources were stored on hidden platforms in deep orbit. Even data was encrypted and distributed across multiple planetary systems, impossible to access without human codes. The Dominion commanders assumed this was a trick. "Where is the enemy?" they demanded. "We were promised resistance. We were promised infrastructure to destroy." Earth did not answer immediately. Humans waited, because humans were patient. For years, their strategies had relied on precise timing. Every ship, every resource, every piece of intelligence had been prepared in advance. The galaxy's first move would not find Earth unprepared. It would find Earth invisible, unassailable, and organized beyond imagination. The first small skirmish came when Dominion forces approached a human-controlled asteroid station. They expected a minor defense, a token fleet that could be destroyed easily. Instead, their communications were disrupted. Supply routes disappeared. Automated systems activated, turning ordinary machinery into defensive obstacles. And when they attacked, the small human ships that emerged were faster and smarter than the Dominion expected. It was a shock. The Dominion's warships were designed to overpower opponents with sheer firepower. They had fought worlds that relied on strength, intimidation, and domination. But humans did not rely on strength alone. Humans used coordination, strategy, and adaptability. A single Dominion ship could be surrounded, diverted, and isolated without a single human ship being destroyed. Word of the skirmish spread quickly across the galaxy. Reports described a small fleet outmaneuvering giant warships, systems shutting down without clear explanation, and humans appearing to predict enemy movements with uncanny accuracy. Alien commanders were stunned. "They are learning faster than we can respond," one Valor analyst whispered. "This is not normal. Their strategy is adaptive." Meanwhile, on Earth, the situation remained calm. Military leaders coordinated silently with civilian engineers. Trade ships became supply lines. Science stations became forward observation posts. Even cities on Earth contributed. Data centers redirected energy, satellites scanned enemy movement, and communications networks simulated multiple potential attacks. Humanity had built a living system. One that could respond to threats automatically, efficiently, and without panic. The Dominion, frustrated by repeated failures, decided to escalate. They sent their most powerful fleet toward the heart of human space. They intended to strike decisively, expecting that humans would crumble under pressure. When the fleet arrived, it encountered the first true demonstration of Earth's hidden strength. The Dominion's massive ships fired on human orbital defenses, expecting little resistance. Instead, they found their energy disrupted. Shields fluctuated unpredictably. Small vessels appeared where none had been reported. Autonomous drones targeted weak points with precision. Human ships did not attack directly. They surrounded, diverted, and trapped the Dominion forces. Supply lines were cut. Systems were overloaded. Every Dominion attempt to predict human movements failed. For the first time, the galaxy began to notice something important. Humans were not powerless. They were patient. They were precise. They were prepared. While alien commanders panicked, human leaders remained calm. They communicated with each other efficiently, sharing updates across multiple systems instantly. Decisions were made and executed without confusion or delay. Every move was calculated, every action part of a larger strategy that the galaxy could not comprehend. And still, Earth did not fight aggressively. They avoided unnecessary destruction, protected civilians, and waited for the right moment to act. The galaxy began to realize something terrifying. Humans did not need to show all their strength to defend themselves. Small victories began to accumulate. Supply ships, thought to be lost, reappeared in unexpected places, reinforcing defensive positions. Minor skirmishes turned into larger strategic advantages as human coordination disrupted Dominion plans repeatedly. Alien leaders whispered rumors. How can they? How do they know? They must have spies everywhere. But there were no spies, just preparation, just intelligence, just patience. Even as the Dominion considered retreat, humans remained calm, showing no sign of overconfidence or aggression. They did not gloat. They did not issue threats. They simply waited, adapting and observing. For humans, war was not a contest of pride. It was a matter of survival. And survival, they knew, required more than firepower. It required understanding, planning, and timing. Across the galaxy, civilizations began to take note. Allies of the Dominion wondered if they had misjudged humans. Minor species that had feared Earth started reconsidering their alliances. Even the Valar technocracy, long skeptical of human capabilities, began to analyze Earth's strategy with new respect. It was a quiet revolution. Humanity, once seen as powerless, was revealing itself in subtle ways. They did not attack first. They did not brag. They did not try to dominate. But every movement, every calculation, every silent preparation demonstrated something undeniable. Humans could survive. And when necessary, they could strike with efficiency and precision that the galaxy had never seen. The declaration of war had been a test, and humans had passed. As the Dominion fleets retreated for repairs and regrouping, human leaders prepared for the next phase. They knew the galaxy would not accept their patience forever. There would be more attacks, larger fleets, more powerful enemies, but humans were ready. Every system, every ship, every mind was connected in a way that no alien empire could understand. The galaxy had assumed weakness. It had been wrong. Humans had acted powerless for 50 years. They had smiled politely, followed rules, and accepted minor humiliations. They had appeared weak. They had allowed the galaxy to believe they were small and insignificant. And now, as war officially began, the first lesson became clear. Humans were not to be underestimated. They had prepared. They had learned. They had waited. And the galaxy, for all its power, was about to see what patience, intelligence, and coordination could truly achieve. For the first time, humans understood the gravity of the war ahead, not just as a struggle for survival, but as the moment when the galaxy would finally see Earth's true strength. And humanity was ready. The galaxy had expected Earth to falter. It had expected humans to panic or plead for mercy. Instead, what unfolded was something no alien civilization could have imagined. As Dominion fleets retreated from the first skirmishes, their commanders realized the humans were not acting as ordinary defenders. The small fleets, the civilian ships converted for combat, the careful coordination, nothing about humanity followed the patterns of other worlds. Every move was deliberate. Every action seemed calculated to confuse, delay, and outmaneuver. It was not just defense. It was intelligence in motion. Deep within Earth's orbital stations, humans monitored the Dominion fleet's every movement. Engineers tapped into sensors that spanned thousands of kilometers of space. Artificial intelligence systems calculated probabilities faster than any alien mind could follow. Even civilian satellites, under the guise of observation, were ready to intercept, relay, and coordinate data instantly. In one command center orbiting the planet, Commander Elias Tan looked over the displays with calm focus. "They think they can overwhelm us," he said softly, eyes scanning energy readings, fleet positions, and supply levels. "They don't realize we've already predicted their approach." Around him, officers nodded silently. Every person, every action was part of a larger pattern. Nothing was wasted. No resource was unaccounted for. Every civilian ship had a backup plan. Every trade vessel could become a supply carrier, medical unit, or defensive platform. Humanity's greatest strength was not weapons. It was organization. It was adaptability. The Dominion fleet, confident in its superior firepower, moved into human-controlled space. They expected chaos, confusion, or at worst, a small delay. What they found was precision. Every Dominion advance was met with calculated responses. Energy grids fluctuated to weaken enemy shields. Supply lines disappeared. Communications were rerouted, making coordination impossible. Small human ships appeared unexpectedly, striking weak points, then vanishing before retaliation could occur. The Dominion commanders were shocked. "How?" one muttered. "How do they know our movements before we make them?" It was not magic. It was planning. It was preparation. Humans had studied alien tactics for decades. They had observed the Dominion's formations, the Valar technocracy's defensive strategies, and even minor species habits. Every possible scenario had been considered, simulated, and prepared for. On Earth, the public saw nothing unusual. Children played in parks. Civilians went to work. Scientists tested engines and materials. Traders moved goods through space. Every action contributed to the larger system, yet appeared ordinary. That was the genius of humanity's hidden strength. As the first major battle unfolded near the outer colonies, Dominion warships expected to find minimal resistance. Instead, they encountered networks of small human ships, automated drones, and defense systems hidden in asteroid fields, orbital platforms, and even decoy colonies. They fired, but their energy weapons were deflected, absorbed, or rerouted. They attacked, but humans adapted instantly, changing formations, tactics, and supply strategies in real time. It was like fighting an invisible opponent who always seemed one step ahead. Human engineers monitored energy flows across entire star systems. If a Dominion ship drew too much power, local grids adjusted, weakening its shields. If communications were jammed, humans used backup channels, creating phantom signals to confuse and redirect. It was a battle not just of ships, but of information, energy, and coordination. The Dominion fleet began to falter. "They are not conventional," admitted Admiral Krell of the Zerath Dominion. "They are thinking differently, faster than expected." Meanwhile, on the planet below, Earth's leaders remained calm. They had anticipated these moves. Every failure, every Dominion misstep had been considered. They did not overreact. They did not panic. They adjusted, adapted, and continued to reinforce positions quietly. In orbit, Commander Tan oversaw a simulation of Dominion movements. He tapped a few keys, and a civilian transport carrier suddenly redirected to reinforce a defensive node. Drones deployed automatically from hidden platforms. Energy shields rose, fell, and shifted without human intervention. It was a living system, and it worked flawlessly. The first true victory came when a Dominion battleship attempted to attack a minor colony. It fired a full salvo of energy beams, expecting resistance. Instead, the beams were absorbed into the planetary shield, then redirected harmlessly into space. Small human ships appeared from multiple directions, not to destroy, but to disable key systems. Within hours, the massive battleship was immobilized, surrounded by smaller vessels that could have been easily destroyed individually, but now worked in perfect harmony. For the first time, the galaxy saw a human victory that was not brute force. It was strategy, precision, adaptability. Across the stars, news spread quickly. Even minor species began to wonder if Earth had been underestimated for decades. Analysts from the Valor technocracy studied the movements, attempting to reverse engineer the logic. Yet no pattern could be fully understood. Humans did not act like other species. They adapted, learned, and evolved faster than anything else in the galaxy. And yet humans did not celebrate. After the skirmish, Earth's leadership reported losses minimal, carefully managed, and quickly replaced. Civilian casualties were non-existent, resources were preserved, systems remained intact. It was not just a victory in battle. It was a demonstration of the human way, efficiency, precision, and care. Alien commanders began to whisper rumors. They are unpredictable. They are organized beyond reason. They are patient hunters, not fighters. It was true. Humans were hunters of opportunity, not of blood. They did not seek to destroy unless necessary. They sought to survive and adapt, using intelligence and cooperation as their greatest weapons. As the Dominion fleet retreated to regroup, they sent a message to the Galactic Assembly. "Humanity is unlike anything we have faced. We misjudged them." Human leaders received the message with quiet acknowledgement. There was no celebration, no boasting. The war was only beginning. The galaxy still believed humans were weak. The Dominion still believed in force. But Earth had already demonstrated something undeniable. Humans were patient, intelligent, and hidden in strength. Even more, humans were not just reacting. They were learning. Every move the Dominion made provided information. Every attack became data. Every strategy became a lesson. Humans adapted instantly, improving systems and tactics in real time. On the surface, children went to school, scientists conducted experiments, and workers managed everyday life. Below the surface, behind every routine, humanity's hidden strength grew. By the time the Dominion returned for another attack, they found Earth ready. Not because humans had rushed to build massive fleets, not because humans had unleashed destructive superweapons, but because humans had created a system that could predict, adapt, and respond faster than any alien power expected. And the galaxy began to fear quietly. The first real shock had happened. Humans were not what they seemed. They were not weak nor powerless. They were patient. They were clever. They were hidden strength in plain sight. The The Dominion fleet, once arrogant, now hesitated. They had faced worlds before, conquered planets, and destroyed civilizations. But humans were different. Humans did not act like anyone else. For Commander Tan and his officers, it was only the beginning. The galaxy had tested them, and humans had responded perfectly. But the war was not over. More fleets would come. Stronger enemies would arrive. Yet humans remained confident, not arrogant, not careless, but focused, adaptable, and prepared. Because humanity had learned an important lesson: strength was not always visible. Patience and preparation could outmatch brute force. Observation, intelligence, and adaptability could overcome even the most powerful fleets, and the galaxy had underestimated humans for far too long. When the next Dominion attack came, they would find that Earth was ready for more than defense. They would see that humanity's hidden strength was not in a single ship, a single weapon, or a single leader, but in a civilization united, adaptive, and prepared to survive anything. The first lessons of war had been learned. The galaxy had begun to understand the truth. Humans were not weak. They had only acted as if they were. After the first skirmishes, alien commanders believed they had encountered a clever but minor opponent. They had expected humans to crumble under pressure, to panic, to make mistakes. But Earth had shown a strange, almost terrifying skill. They were prepared, adaptive, and patient. The Dominion fleets returned, larger and more heavily armed than before. They expected victory, expecting that the humans' clever maneuvers in the previous battles were small, temporary tricks. They did not anticipate the full scope of Earth's hidden strength. Deep within orbital command centers, Commander Elias Tan observed the incoming fleet with calm precision. Every sensor, every map, every data stream flowed into the human systems seamlessly. Earth had prepared not only for one attack, but for many. Every ship, every station, every system was connected in a web of coordination that the galaxy could not comprehend. "They are sending everything," Lieutenant Mara Chen said. Her voice was steady, but her eyes reflected the seriousness of the moment. "This is the full Dominion fleet," Commander Tan nodded. "And we are ready. Initiate system-wide coordination. Remember, we survive by strategy, not by panic." On the surface, humanity appeared as it always had, calm, orderly, and almost ordinary. Children went to school. Scientists worked in labs. Engineers maintained orbital stations. Trade fleets moved goods quietly through space. But every single human action was connected to the larger plan. Every satellite, every drone, every ship had a purpose. Every civilian resource could be converted into a strategic advantage. When the Dominion fleet entered human-controlled space, they were confident. They had prepared overwhelming firepower, massive ships, and advanced technology designed to crush any resistance. But they had not anticipated humanity's ability to adapt instantly, to use intelligence and coordination over brute strength. As the first volleys of energy weapons were fired, the Dominion commanders noticed something strange. Their attacks hit empty space. Shields rose and fell unpredictably, redirecting energy harmlessly. Small human ships appeared from unexpected angles, not attacking directly but disabling key systems and communications. It was not a fight of strength. It was a fight of intelligence. On the orbital command station, analysts tracked every movement of the Dominion fleet. The humans had anticipated their tactics, their formations, and even their likely mistakes. Energy grids were adjusted to weaken enemy shields at just the right moments. Supply lines were disrupted before the Dominion even realized it. Automated systems responded instantly to attacks, reconfiguring defenses faster than any alien commander could calculate. Across the galaxy, the Dominion began to understand something terrifying. Humans were not conventional opponents. They were adaptable, coordinated, and far more intelligent than any species had expected. The first major clash came near the colonies on the edge of the Terran Alliance's space. Dominion warships attempted to attack, expecting minimal resistance. Instead, they found themselves surrounded by small human fleets. Orbital stations fired energy pulses that disabled critical systems. Drones emerged from hidden positions in asteroids, striking with precision. Human ships maneuvered like a single organism, responding to every move the enemy made. Within hours, the Dominion fleet was immobilized. Massive battleships designed to crush planets were now trapped by fleets that were smaller, slower, and seemingly weaker. Humans had not relied on overwhelming force. They had relied on adaptability and intelligence. Across the galaxy, whispers spread. "How are they doing this?" the Valar technocracy analysts asked. "They are learning faster than we can anticipate." Even minor species, previously intimidated by the Dominion, began quietly shifting their allegiance. Some provided intelligence to the humans. Others allowed trade routes to remain open. They did not want to be caught on the losing side. Human leaders remained calm, as always. They had anticipated every possible outcome, every enemy strategy. Each movement of the Dominion fleet became data. Every attack became an opportunity to improve defenses and predict future actions. Humans adapted instantly, modifying tactics, redirecting energy, and coordinating fleets with incredible efficiency. While the Dominion relied on sheer strength, humanity relied on intelligence, observation, and coordination. Every victory was quiet, precise, and efficient. Civilians were protected. Resources were preserved. No unnecessary destruction occurred. Every action was calculated for maximum effect with minimum loss. For the first time, the galaxy began to understand what Earth had been hiding all along. Humans were not powerless. They had been patient, learning, and preparing for decades. They had created a civilization that could respond to attacks in ways no alien empire had ever imagined. Their strength was in unity, coordination, and adaptability. When the Dominion fleet attempted a direct assault on Earth's core systems, they found themselves facing an entirely new level of defense. Massive orbital shields were activated, reinforced by hidden energy platforms and automated drone swarms. Small human ships working together as a single organism disabled critical enemy systems. Supply lines were cut. Communications were rerouted. Every move the Dominion made was anticipated and countered. The battle lasted 72 hours. By the end, the Dominion's flagship, the pride of their fleet, surrendered. Its massive weapons, designed to destroy planets, were rendered useless by the invisible networks humans had created. The galaxy fell silent. Humans had not destroyed the Dominion fleet completely. They had not sought revenge. They had only defended themselves with precision and intelligence. Yet their message was clear: underestimate humanity at your own risk. In the Galactic Assembly, the mood shifted. Species that had laughed at Earth now whispered with respect and fear. The Valar technocracy, once skeptical, began formal analysis of human systems. Minor species sought alliance. Even the Dominion, humbled but not destroyed, realized they had misjudged a planet that appeared weak but was quietly prepared for the greatest challenges. Humanity's greatest weapon had not been lasers or missiles. It had been adaptability, intelligence, and coordination. They had turned ordinary resources into extraordinary strength. They had turned patience into power. They had turned observation into strategy. And the galaxy was beginning to take notice. On Earth, Commander Tan looked at the reports of the battle. Casualties were minimal. Systems had functioned perfectly. Civilians were safe. Every human action had contributed to victory without unnecessary loss. "We have shown them our strength," he said quietly. "But the war is not over. They will return." Lieutenant Chen nodded. "And we will be ready. Every system, every ship, every civilian, all coordinated. They cannot break us." Commander Tan smiled slightly. "They will learn slowly what humans have known all along. Strength is not always visible. Patience and preparation can outmatch brute force. Observation, intelligence, and adaptability can overcome even the most powerful fleets." The galaxy had assumed humans were weak. They had been wrong, and the war had only just begun. Humans did not celebrate. They did not boast. They prepared. Every victory became a lesson. Every attack became data. Every enemy movement was anticipated and used to improve their defenses further. Civilizations across the galaxy began to realize something important. Humanity was unlike any other species. They did not act out of pride, fear, or aggression. They acted out of intelligence, unity, and the will to survive. The Dominion fleets regrouped, planning their next attack. But humans were already ready not only to defend, but to turn every move into an advantage. Every resource, every civilian, every ship could become part of the defense network. Every day, humanity grew stronger, more coordinated, and more adaptable. For the first time in galactic history, a planet that had appeared powerless was feared not for what it had shown, but for what it had hidden. And the galaxy began to whisper the truth: humans are patient. Humans are clever. Humans are hidden strength in plain sight. The war the galaxy thought it would win easily was turning into a test of patience, intelligence, and adaptability. And humans were proving themselves far beyond what anyone had imagined. For decades, the galaxy had believed humans were weak. For decades, Earth had smiled politely, traded quietly, and observed silently. For decades, humanity had prepared for a test they knew would come. But no alien empire had expected the scale, the precision, or the patience of Earth's response. After the Dominion's retreat, the galaxy began to rethink everything it had assumed about humanity. Analysts from every civilization studied the battles, trying to understand how a planet with modest fleets and seemingly ordinary technology had halted the greatest warships in known space. They tried to find patterns, weaknesses, anything that could explain the victories. And they found nothing. Humans had not fought like other species. They had not relied on overwhelming force or intimidation. They had relied on intelligence, adaptability, and unity. Every ship, every station, every civilian resource had become part of a living system. Every move by the enemy had been anticipated, every attack countered, every weakness turned into strength. And the galaxy was beginning to fear Earth, not because it had attacked first, but because it had survived with precision that no one could match. On Earth, Commander Elias Tan walked through the orbital command center. Screens showed Dominion fleets retreating to distant systems, their forces weakened, their commanders bewildered. Human engineers worked calmly, monitoring every station, every ship, every resource. Civilians continued daily life below, unaware of how vital their ordinary actions had been to the defense. Lieutenant Mara Chen approached him. "They are regrouping, sir. They will come again, larger fleets, heavier weapons." Tan nodded. "Let them come. Every move they make is data, every attack is an opportunity, and we will be ready." Meanwhile, across the galaxy, the Valar technocracy and minor species began to realize something profound. Earth had not only defended itself, it had taught a lesson. Strength did not always show itself through size, firepower, or intimidation. It could be hidden, patient, and precise. Coordination, intelligence, and adaptability could surpass even the most terrifying fleets. The Dominion, humiliated but not destroyed, finally sent a formal message to the Galactic Assembly. Its words were careful, almost reluctant. "Humanity is unlike any other species we have faced. We misjudged them. We assumed weakness. We were wrong." At the assembly, all species gathered. Some whispered quietly, others stared uneasy. The humans entered the chamber as calm and polite as they had always been. No weapons were displayed, no threats were made, no prideful declarations were spoken. Humanity did not need to boast. Their actions had spoken louder than words. The human ambassador stood and addressed the assembly with a calm voice. "We acted powerless because we chose patience. We acted humble because power displayed invites challenge. We did not wish for war, yet we prepared for it, and we have survived. The galaxy assumed we were weak. We have only proved that survival requires intelligence, unity, and adaptability." The words were simple, but they carried weight. Every species in the chamber understood what had happened. Humans had hidden their strength for decades, waited for the right moment, and responded with precision that none could match. Several minor species, who had once feared Dominion oppression, now quietly requested alliance with Earth. They recognized the value of a civilization that did not seek domination but could defend itself, and others with efficiency and intelligence. Even the Dominion, humbled, agreed to send representatives to negotiate peace. They understood that further aggression against Earth would be costly, uncertain, and likely disastrous. Humans had demonstrated a capability the galaxy could not ignore. The true revelation came when humanity disclosed a fraction of their preparation. They revealed archives of decades of planning, coordination systems, AI protocols, and simulations. These systems had monitored trade, logistics, energy grids, and even social networks of human and alien civilizations. They had built a network that could adapt instantly to any threat. The galaxy was stunned. You planned all of this?" an alien delegate asked. "You observed us all quietly while appearing powerless," the human ambassador nodded. "We prepared not to dominate but to survive. We learned from your civilizations, observed patterns, and coordinated quietly. Power displayed invites challenge. We preferred to appear weak while building systems that could protect our people and allow us to continue peaceful trade. You declared war. We responded." There was silence. For the first time, the galaxy saw humans as equals, not because of ships or weapons, but because of intelligence, unity, and patience. Humans had acted in ways that no other civilization had ever considered. They had combined their creativity, resilience, and adaptability into a system that could overcome empires without unnecessary destruction. In private, the Dominion's High Commander admitted the truth. "We thought them children. We thought them weak. We were wrong. Their strength is not obvious. It is hidden, patient, calculated." On Earth, life continued. Children still played in parks, engineers still tested new engines, and scientists continued research. Yet every ordinary action had been, and would continue to be, part of humanity's hidden strength. The galaxy may have seen Earth's victories, but it would never fully understand the depth of preparation and coordination behind them. Human leaders understood that the war was only the beginning. Other civilizations would watch closely. Some might attempt to challenge humanity again, some might test boundaries. But humans had learned the ultimate lesson. Intelligence, unity, and preparation were stronger than sheer power. Commander Tan addressed his officers. "The galaxy has finally seen us. They understand our capability, but remember, our greatest strength is still hidden. We show only what we must. We survive, we learn, and we adapt. That is what makes us strong. That is what makes humanity unique." Lieutenant Chen smiled. "They will remember this lesson," Tan nodded. "Yes, and the galaxy will think twice before underestimating any world again." For the first time, the universe recognized humanity not as a small, powerless planet, but as a civilization capable of matching, and even surpassing, the greatest empires in strategy, intelligence, and adaptability. Humanity had not sought to conquer. They had not sought revenge. They had sought survival, unity, and resilience. Yet the galaxy now knew one undeniable truth. Humans were patient, clever, and capable of hidden strength unlike any other species. The war had tested them. The galaxy had underestimated them. And Earth had proven that appearances were never what they seemed. From that day forward, humans walked among the stars not as powerless observers, but as equals, quietly strong, patient, and always prepared. The galaxy understood finally what humans had known all along. They did not need to roar. They did not need to display overwhelming force. They built, they learned, and they waited, and only when necessary they revealed their strength. The galaxy would never forget.